Delicious, but with sautéed pears sandwiched in between two layers, it becomes a sumptuous delight. And because my mother's joining me for breakfast this morning, I thought I'd make something special. So, Mom, you're already peeling the pears for me.
Yes, you put me to work.
Okay, well, thank you. You can do this French toast. I discovered it this summer. I was just thinking, how can I make French toast a little bit different?
Yeah.
And because pears are so good, we're using Bosc pears that have been peeled, cored, and sliced, and I'm going to sauté them in unsalted butter, and with a little sprinkling of sugar, these pears will caramelize really quickly.
There's nothing better than a stewed pear anyway.
Oh no, and just about a tablespoon of sugar. We want the pears to maintain their shape, but caramelize a little bit. Yes, very thinly sliced, if you don't mind. And the custard mixture, the same as most French toast, of course. But I always add a few other things too, the milk and eggs and cream. Use a good rich milk. You could use heavy cream if you like, but milk is just great. I'm using 6 large eggs and as much milk as I think is necessary, and some wonderful zest. And why don't you just grate just the zest? And what's nice about it, it's so sharp that it's taking off just the translucent peel from the lemon, and we also need the orange done like that. And I went to Balthazar Bakery yesterday, and so I brought one of the beautiful, beautiful loaves of brioche that Paula, the baker, is famous for. And I also brought a big, fat French baguette. Both of these breads are beautiful for French toast. So this is good. This is looking very nice. So, Mom, if you want to just keep stirring this fruit very gently so we don't break any of the slices, I'll slice up the bread. What we want is, I keep the crusts on, and I just slice it about a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch thick. And now the baguette, we will slice slightly differently.
Oh.
It's on a big angle. That's a nice big slice. If you cut it across this way, you have very little surface. But because we're cutting on an angle, we have a lot of surface in which to pile some of the sautéed pears. And now I'll mix up the rest of the custard. I'm going to add this much zest. It looks like a lot, but I love a flavorful coating for this toast. The French call French toast pain perdu, or lost bread, because it's a way of reviving old, stale bread, which becomes dry after only a day. I always break my eggs with a fork for French toast. I think I learned that from you. And I always break the eggs and mix the custard in a flat dish like this, because it's so easy to soak a lot of bread at the same time.
You know what people ask me all the time? Did Martha learn everything she knows from you? So I say, of course, wife, I have to take the credit.
Well, pain perdu actually was a staple in our house, but we use old stale white Wonder bread, remember?
Yeah.
Now that's a little bit of orange juice, a little bit of fresh squeezed lemon juice, and I also add a little bit of salt and a little bit of sugar, just a big pinch of salt, and a spoon or 2 of sugar. Not too much sugar because the pears are going to have a little sweetness. I'll just put that much sugar in. You know what? I think I need a little bit more orange, so I'm going to just cut that orange in half, and I'll just squeeze some of the juice in. Good. I like a little bit of the orange pulp, too, you know? And I'll use my fork to...
Now that makes delicious.
And a little bit of the pulp of the orange has to be in there. Stir the pears.
Okay, these are almost ready.
Almost, yeah. See how they're starting to caramelize? And add a little bit more milk. So it's about a little more than 1 cup of milk to 6 eggs.
Yeah, some of these are already getting a little crust on them.
Okay, so now we're ready to heat our pan and soak our bread.
More good things coming up next.
What do you fry that in?
Well, I cook it in just a Wesson oil or a vegetable oil. I don't want to have the oil impart any flavor. So about, a little less than 1/4 of an inch of oil. Now you can soak the brioche Don't leave it in too long because it will weaken. If it's crumbly bread, it's not going to work really well for this kind of dish. And now we'll just take a couple of these gorgeous pear slices and layer them. See how nice, Mother? You can put quite a few pears inside, then put the other piece of toast right on top. You have to cook this pretty hot because you want it crispy and golden. There, that sizzle is good. But this is so great with blueberries in between. You can do it with raspberries if you like. Sauteed apples would be delicious. I've done it with white peaches this summer, and that was really great. And now I'm going to do a couple with the baguette. These will soak up a lot of the custard. French bread takes a little bit longer than the brioche. What a great color. Now we need paper towel on a tray just to drain it. And if you want to make this for a lot of people, you can pre-cook it a little bit and keep it hot in the oven. But they get a little bit puffy, which is exactly what you want. So I'll give you one of these to try. How does it taste?
You have something there, Martha.
You like it? Look how beautiful. Which one?
This is very good.
You like the French bread one better?
Well, I don't know if I like it better, but it's very good. So crisp.
So it's a very nice way to use up your day-old bread.
Well, this is excellent. Very tasty.
My favorite thing. Pan perdu.
Very delicious breakfast.
And now Patricia Lockrane has a question for us. Hi, Patricia.
Hello, how are you?
Very well.
Good.
And what's your question?
Well, my aunt had said she was served a demi-tasse at the end of her meal, and I was wondering what it was, a dessert or an after-dinner drink.
Well, it's basically an after-dinner drink, and it is coffee. And literally translated from the French, the word demi-tasse means half cup. That's where those pretty little demi-tasse cups come from that are probably in your aunt's china cupboard.
Yes.
You know those little tiny ones?
Yes.
And I just love them. I collect demi-tasse cups. And actually, I like serving the demi-tasse. A lot of people think, oh, I'll never sleep if I have an espresso or a demi-tasse. Espresso's pretty much the same thing.
I was just going to say, is there a difference between the two?
Well, no, I think they're very similar and using the same kind of coffee, although demi-tasse would probably use French roast, and espresso would probably use what's called Italian roast. And the coffee bean that's used is darker roasted and more finely ground than the typical American coffee bean. In front of me, I have some regular breakfast kind of coffee, and that's a light brown color. It smells very fragrant. It has no burnt smell whatsoever. Actually, even the very, very finest espresso beans, if they're roasted well, or they will not have that burnt smell either. But breakfast coffee has more caffeine than the very long roasted, darker, more oily looking bean.
Oh, no, that's interesting.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So you'll feel a little better about having that demi-tasse, that half cup.
Is it a strong, would it be very strong?
Well, it is strong because it's concentrated.
Okay.
And the way we like to make it is either in a demi-tasse machine, you know, the espresso machines, or in these nice little pressure pots. You fill this up to the line with cold water. You use the very finely ground espresso coffee bean, and not too much. Never pack it in this little pot. And, oh, I have friends who have this for breakfast, actually. Wow. No, it's nice. I like strong coffee. And if you want to serve this same coffee with boiled milk, it's your cafe au lait. Or if you want to make a latte, you just need one small demi-tasse cupful of this coffee with your steamed milk. Oh. And you have a very lovely service, and your aunt would be very proud to serve it to you in one of her lovely little demi-tasse cups.
Yes. With
a little piece of lemon and maybe even a lump of sugar. Do you take sugar?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
well, And this is the cutest spoon you ever did see. It's a little demi-tasse spoon with an ebony coffee bean at the end of it.
Oh, how wonderful.
It's cute. Well, thanks for your question.
Thank you.
And thank you for calling.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.